Let us watch this video.
When we need water, our body will tell us, don't give kidney excess work to do. The doctors are failing you, Nigerians. The nurses are failing you. That information is wrong. Don't drink anyhow water. Your body weight will tell the amount of water you need. And even though you even need water, if you need water you don't know, your body will tell you, where my brain you feel tasty. So why are we deceiving ourselves?
This is an issue that has been going about for quite a while, so let's take our time and settle it in a simple and very understandable manner. And to make it simple, I'll be explaining it like I'm answering questions. Firstly, what is hydration? What is dehydration? And what is overhydration? Secondly, can we be overhydrated and what are the consequences? Thirdly, is thirst actually a reliable signal? The first one, are there any other reliable ways we can actually know how much water we should take? And lastly, what is my take? And without any further ado, let's dive right into it. So what is hydration? Hydration is basically an essential process of replacing fluid lost through sweat, through urine, or through breathing. And yes, we lose water through breathing as well. But unlike the popular belief, hydration is not just something achieved through water alone. It's through the fruits you eat and even the food we eat as well. Basically, anything that goes in us that has the ability to replenish the body fluids. And on to dehydration. Dehydration is basically a state of body whereby the body passes out more fluid than it enters the body. And the last one, overhydration, which is the direct opposite of dehydration. And this is basically when the body gets more fluid more than it passes out. And that leads us on to the next question. Can the body be overhydrated and what are the consequences? Simple answer, yes, we can definitely be overhydrated. But before we move on to the consequences, let me quickly explain something. I want you to imagine a bowl of water containing a spoonful of salt. Now imagine adding another bowl of water. What happens to the salt in the water? Definitely becomes diluted. It was a spoonful of salt to one bowl of water initially, but it is now a spoonful of salt to two bowls of water. And that leads us to where we are going. Because in our body, we have salt, especially one that is responsible for balancing the fluid around the cells, which is the sodium salt. When sodium is low, it's unable to balance the cellular environment properly, thereby causing water to move into the cells, which is basically what causes the swelling in the face and leg, which we know as edema in kidney patients. So with this explanation, I hope you've been able to get one of the major consequences of overhydration, which is basically electrolyte imbalance, specifically hyponatremia, which is a condition whereby we have low sodium in the body. And the second major consequence is kidney stress, because when you overhydrate, it means your body already has what it needs of fluid. And that's why usually what comes out of the body looks very close to what you put in the first place, because the body doesn't need it and it just pushes it out. And on to the third question. Is thirst even a reliable signal? To get this properly, we need to understand that the body works on a mechanism known as homeostasis, which is simply put the body in this constant state of balancing itself internally. And just the way you don't need to think about breathing, your brain also monitors your temperature as well as the thickness of your blood. So when your brain notices that your system is literally overeating, just for the context, and your blood is getting thicker than normal, it sends thirst as a signal, which is basically your body telling you that, guy, we need some more fluid. But the real question is thirst reliable? Well, the answer is yes and no. In a healthy individual, in a normal environment, definitely, thirst can be relied upon. But in situations whereby one is engaged in high-intensity exercises, or the temperature is above the roof, as we have in this part of the world, or in old people whose signaling capacity is deteriorating, then in these cases, most definitely, thirst is not as reliable as the first case. And that moves us on to the next question. Are there any other reliable ways to know how much water we should drink? Definitely. And I want you to pay attention to this, as I will be mentioning 3 different ways the body signals to us. And the first one is your urine color. If it's mild yellow to straw-like color, then that shows that you are properly hydrated. If it's a little bit dark or darker, then that means you are dehydrated and you need to take some water. If it's very light, just like the water you took in, then that means you are overdoing it and that work is likely to overstress your kidneys. Now, the second thing to watch out for is how frequently you urinate. An averagely hydrated person should urinate like every 3 to 4 hours. If it's anything less than that, then that might be a sign that you are dehydrated. And if it is anything more than that, then that might mean you are overdoing it. And so the last one, which is basically how your body feels. For example, if you see a dry, cracked lip out of nowhere, then that is one of the signs of dehydration. Also, if you notice headaches or migraines, that's another sign the body gives that you need more fluid. And lastly, anytime you take water and you feel very weak, then that's a sign that you're on the brink of overhydration. So Famfis, what exactly is your take on this issue? Well, just as we've seen, it's not a one-size-fits-all answer. How much fluid you should take depends on the kind of person you are, the kind of environment you are in, and the kind of activities you are engaged in. And this, as a matter of fact, are variables that change from person to person. So if you're a kind of person that can depend on your thirst, then you should. On the other hand, if you're someone who can't, maybe because of age or environmental factors or even activities, then you shouldn't wait for thirst to hydrate yourself. So that will be all for now. I hope you learned something. If you did, don't forget to follow, like, and share with your friends and families. And as always, don't forget to stick around.